And we're back, day 3 on the inaugural Advanced Weapons Technology Summit being held here in Huntsville, Alabama. As a reminder, I'm Al Abramson, the Senior Vice President of Strategic Engagement at the National Armaments Consortium, where we collaborate, innovate, and dominate. Today, we're back for another series of discussions with some thought leaders that have been attending and participating in our first and our inaugural Advanced Weapons Technology Summit currently here in Huntsville, Alabama. This summit has been awesome. We've had over 700 registrants. We're going to have 60 government briefed requirements at the tune of about $4.5 billion worth of opportunities within the government. Today, our guest is Dr. Katie Sixt. Dr. Katie Sixt, welcome to today's discussion.
Thank you, Al, for having me.
Thank you. And so your title is Principal Director for Biotechnology at OUSD R&E. Talk to us a little bit about your role, that role of Principal Director of Biotechnology in OSD. And for those, OSD is a branch of the Department of Defense, but talk a little bit about how your role ties into the Department of Defense. Absolutely.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
So the role of the principal director is, there are 14 principal directors within R&E, and those form the leadership of the different critical technology areas of R&E. One of those areas is biotechnology, and so as the principal director for biotechnology, my office sets the strategy for how we use biotechnology in modernizing the entire Department of Defense.
Okay. So biotechnology, modernizing Department of Defense are not words that we think about kind of every day, but really important as kind of building blocks, if you will. And so just your thoughts and you spoke today, and some of the things you talked about is BICEPS, which is one of the programs that you're working. You talked about global challenges, if you will. But from your perspective, as we tie those two worlds together, those two converging enterprises, if you will, biotechnology, application within the Department of Defense, talk to us a little bit about the importance of that and where you see that going, where that roadmap going.
Absolutely. So biotechnology really provides us a novel platform for how we advance the military. It can provide us things that can secure our supply chains by making drop-in ready fuels, drop-in ready different compounds that the military already uses, but making them through a novel means. So that secures our supply chains. It also allows us to do point of need logistics. So we can take things farther forward, avoid contested logistics, and innovate around choke points using biomanufacturing as opposed to primarily petrochemistry or other means of manufacturing. And it's not to offset or to supplant those technologies, but it really will complement those technologies so that we have another avenue. The third area where this is of importance is in novel materials. Biotechnology allows us to create materials, compounds, things with properties we've never seen before. So it gets to the point where we can say the military has a capability gap and we'd like to fill it, and we know how we can fill it with biology in a way that you can't make by chemistry or by any other material science.
Okay, so just to pivot a little bit, and so we talked a little bit about bringing these perhaps potentially different communities together, and we brought it under this summit. So any initial thoughts about the summit that you've been attending today?
Absolutely, it's been a great opportunity for different communities, like you say, to come together. This is a really important component for biomanufacturing when we think about bioenergetics and how we make energetics, firepower, kinetic capabilities. Biology has a nice, unique role to play in there, and so as biology moves forward into that, we need ways to bring biologists and people who do biomanufacturing together with munitions experts, warfighters, industry, academia, all of that together. So that those can come together, and that's how those ideas get generated, is kind of on those seams of technology.
Yeah, very good. So today's discussion again about biomanufacturing and how do we tie that into the Department of Defense, among other things, right? Because there are commercial uses, if you will, and how can we do, and I think you talked about multifunctional, that's what stuck in my word, multifunctional uses. But is there one or two particular messages that you spoke about today or you've heard today that really has been resonating with you or something that we need to reinforce to the community?
I think that considering biomanufacturing and biotechnology as one of the many tools in our toolkit, but one that needs to be developed. Okay. So it is in development. We are building biomanufacturing throughout the United States, and we are building our capacity and our capabilities in it. This needs to be considered as something that we can bring in to the department and use in the department to secure those supply chains, to make those novel materials and really promote the advantage that we're looking for.
Yeah. So just for me to kind of do it a different way, because I look at on-ramping these capabilities, utilizing them in a different way. They've proven capabilities and technology and manufacturing types within the commercial world, but we want to on-ramp that within the Department of Defense. It makes sense to me. But within that on-ramp process, are there any challenges that you see ahead or anything that perhaps might keep you up at night that might stop that or hinder that or delay that process from going from a proven commercial capability into a Defense Department capability?
I wouldn't say any of it keeps me up at night.
Okay.
I think that there are challenges, but those challenges are more opportunities.
Yeah,
so we're growing biomanufacturing. We're growing it within the department, bringing it in. Yeah. I think it really provides us places where innovation will take hold, right? Because it's a new area to bring biomanufacturing. Yes, we can make food from biomanufacturing. There's a lot of VC interest in that, and a lot of development in making alternative proteins, let's say. But you can also make a lot of alternative materials. Yes. And not everybody knows that those alternative materials made from biology are in their Lululemon clothing, right? Or in their sneakers. Well, they can also be in part of our military as well, and can provide an advantage that we can't get from any other means.
Yeah. So as not your first foray within the National Armaments Consortium, and so what we do really, again, is bringing in the government, industry, and academia into one particular venue and have a collaboration event. So not your first rodeo, but early stages into entering into that environment. Any thoughts about the power of bringing in you all to help collaborate across the community? Any thoughts on this venue?
I think it's one of the best opportunities we have for the military, right? For the Department of Defense to be able to bring together communities and to have a place where people feel comfortable, so they feel like they can understand the government because they're getting that help from the NAC, where the government can talk to industry because they feel like they've brought all the people together they need to at one place, and we can talk to them all. Innovation sparks when you bring together novel communities, right? When you bring it brings together new ideas that we never thought of before. And the other thing you can say is that it really generates excitement, right? And you can feel that.
I'm excited about the journey.
I am too.
I can't wait to see what happens. And so a lot of folks, a lot of questions that you kind of fielded today from very different aspects that I did not anticipate, if you will. But in my mind, it kind of measures the excitement that the journey that you guys are about to embark upon.
That we're going to embark on.
We're going to embark upon together.
Yes, you got it.
Awesome. So to those that are watching, we're about out of time, but to those that are watching, thank you for joining us. Please sign in to our National Armaments Consortium website or sign into our LinkedIn website. If you have any questions, just shoot us those questions and we'll get those answered for you. Until next time, collaborate, innovate, and dominate. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you.
Thanks.